The question that actually helps someone struggling. Support doesn't always look like money. Sometimes it's just showing up and being present and listening and being not a shoulder to cry on, but a sounding board for somebody who's having a hard time. And the question I always ask, and I'm sure you could guess, is how can I help? And then I zip my lips, I shut up, and I listen. And I really be present with that person to try to find out and let them actually verbalize what it is that's going on with them and what they believe they need the most help and support with. Because sometimes if you just let people talk, okay, all the time, if you just let people talk, they will tell you everything you need to know in order to help them, in order to serve them, in order to improve your relationship with them, in order to do anything if we just use our 2 ears and 1 mouth for the way they were designed. That means listen twice as much as we talk and share information. So today we're talking all about, okay, what is that question? How can we support? And how does supporting other people and setting up systems and processes and procedures in our organization to support one another help us to grow and scale and supersize? It's pretty easy, actually. I've done it in corporate America. I've done it in all my businesses. I've helped other businesses do it in their businesses because it's such a powerful way, and it can be all, it doesn't have to be a formal thing. It can just be part of our culture. Guess what? Our culture impacts way more in our organizations than we give it credit for. Most of the business owners I speak with and work with and interact with actually don't pay any conscious attention to their culture. Yet, underneath everything, what's actually going on in the business and the results that are showing up are due to the culture of the business, right? We might say that we don't want a hustle culture, but if we're hustling all the time and running through our life, guess what we get? We get a whole organization of people hustling, not getting enough sleep, not taking care of themselves. And, it's, you know, I didn't ever think much about burnout, but now that I've come on the school platform, I hear about it a lot. And one of my friends has an incredible community on burnout. And so I'm learning a lot about self-regulation and self-awareness and all the things that I'd never heard of. Nervous system reset. Okay, I admit it. Until I came on the school platform last fall, I had never once heard the term or been aware of the term or known that it was even a thing that you could reset your nervous system. Amazing, right? How did I get this far? How did I live this long? So today, I also want to remind myself to talk about the P in our SOAP framework, because we want to actually finish the SOAP framework within a 7 or 10 day period this time. Let's do that first. Progress is what the P is in our SOAP framework. And progress meaning, how do I know that I'm filling the gap between where I am and where I want to be? How do I know I'm moving in the right direction? And guess what? Sometimes we'll do things that don't move us in the right direction. Sometimes we'll do things and we'll do them a couple of times and we'll realize we're just banging our head against a brick wall and this isn't working. We need to do something different. And we do that by figuring out ways to measure whether we're making progress or not. You know, in the area of contribution is kind of like finances. It's pretty easy to measure if you pick an easy to measure number, right? You could pick donated money, donated dollars, and track that. You could track the amount of time you donate to different causes. Whatever works for you, but pick something that will motivate you and that you can watch over time. There are periods of my life when I didn't volunteer much time contributing. I just threw money at it. Why? Because I didn't have any capacity. I did not have any extra time that I could volunteer and donate. I'm talking when my kids were little, I was working in corporate America and running a couple of businesses on the side. Yeah. I think I got maybe an average of 4 hours of sleep for probably 2 decades, leading up to my sudden cardiac arrest. Imagine that. So there's certain times of our life, just like there's always seasons of our life, where we can volunteer, contribute, and do more and support our communities and people around us and causes we care about, and other times when we just cannot. I don't like to say can't. There's no such thing as can't. So we're going to measure our progress today, or find a way to measure it. Just like anything else, you get to decide how you're going to measure things and whether you are or not. But I find that I measure what matters, and if it's important to me, I'll find a way to measure it. And if I'm measuring it, guess what? I'll be improving it, because I always like to make things look better, and I always like to get results. think that's kind of human nature. So that's our piece. So share in the comments below one way that you're going to measure. You could say time, dollars, whatever you're going to do. You'll notice I put a little graph on here because I do like to make graphs of things so I can look at the impact over time. That's why we do the lifeline exercise, which we haven't done yet this month on contribution, but we will. So let's hop back to this idea of support, and that it's really imperative that we support people in the way they want to be supported. Now, our natural tendency is to support people in the way we want to be supported, but most of the time that doesn't work because we're all different and we need support, which is why it's so important just to ask how you can help and be present to the answer from the individual. You know, I'm like everybody else. I want to just give you the solution, but I found a lot of times, and not a lot of times, every time, you already know what you need to do. You already know the answer. You just might be on the edge of your comfort zone, or it just might be something that you're afraid to do, or it just might be something that you've tried in the past and it didn't work, but now you're a different person than when you tried it in the past. If I tried something when I was 10 and it didn't work, I might still be carrying with me that that's not for me and that doesn't work for me. Ridiculous, right? Yet we do it unless somebody else says, well, how can I help? And then you talk it out, and then you have the epiphany that says, oh my gosh, I believed that when I was 10. That's totally not true anymore. So from a business standpoint, how can you, and we've got a community on the school platform called Supersize Your Business, imagine that, and it's free to join. Just put me in the comments below and I will send you the link and the invite to that. But there we practice supporting our fellow entrepreneurs, our fellow business owners. And I'm going to find some more ways to do that in the community because I think it's important. And again, it's a community that's still forming, which is the exciting time to get in, right? Because it's free and you can get in and you can learn and grow with the rest of us. And if you're like me, you're a lifelong learner and continuous improver, so there's always something that you can learn and gather, and there's always something you can contribute as well to the discussion and the thing. Strongest communities are built on mutual support, trust, know, like, and trust. Strongest business relationships, strongest relationships, strongest anything is built on respect, trust, mutual respect, trust, knowing and understanding where people are coming from. We're all different, and that's awesome because that's what makes the world wonderful, but there are ways that we can find to help and support one another. So share in the comments below today. We're going to keep it simple. How you're going to measure progress for contribution in the area that you're working on for the SOAP framework. And then secondly, go out and thank somebody who's supported you when you were struggling. And just come back and write done in the comments below. If you want to share the story, that would be awesome because we can learn from one another. But don't feel like you have to, ever. We all get to do and be ourselves. That's my #1 motto. All right, that is it today. I'm going to skip the reflective questions. If I can help you in any way, just ask. Otherwise, go out and make it an awesome day, and I'll, of course, see you tomorrow.